Allo, love the show. Keep it up. Question: what do you use for remote access? RDP, Ultra VNC, Show My PC. Do you use different programs for remoting to servers versus into workstations? Is there a good tutorial on how to set this up? Me and Matt have spoken about this before. I use both RDP if you set it up through your router, and then also use Log Me In.
You use the free version?
Yes, but
Okay.
I've in corporate environments I've used Log Me In Rescue before also.
Yeah. So we use a few different things. The basic is for all servers, RDP access. Just RDP right into the server.
Yes.
A few select servers, for whatever reason, either don't have a static IP address or they're flaky or whatever the reason is. Log Me In Rescue has an unattended access feature, so you can install an agent on the server.
Okay.
So when you log into Log Me In Rescue, you go to your unattended access clients, and you can make a connection over Log Me In Rescue without any input from the other end.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's unlimited. You can have as many unattended access agents as you want when you have Log Me In Rescue.
But it requires for you to install an agent, right?
You do have to install an agent. So let's say I want to install it on Mary's computer for whatever reason, because Mary's a problem and I have to keep connecting to her.
Damn you, Mary.
So I could once I do a remote session for Log Me In Rescue, I can then just change that connection to be unattended access, because she already downloaded the applet to make the first connection on Log Me In Rescue.
Okay.
And I just change it to unattended access. So now she shows up. So that's RDP is the main way. And Log Me In Rescue. Log Me In Rescue we use mainly for customer support. Mary calls with a problem. I say, okay, go to the website. Here's your code. Hit connect. And now we're connected.
Yes. Go to logmein123.com. Log me in 321? No, 123. Log me in 32. No, log me in 123.com.
Log me one. I've heard it all. Logme123.com. Logmein.com. They search. They have, if they have 5 search bars on their browser, they will put them in all 5 before they type them in the address bar.
And again, everyone who I've spoken to who used Log Me In Rescue, they run into the same issue. So me and Matt, we laugh about it. What I've done before for a business is for the dual forwarder. So helpme.the company I'm working for.com.
They still got to put that in the address bar, though.
I know, but for some reason, the 123 throws them off. I don't know what it is about 123.
Terry in the chat says that put it in the coupon bar. Yeah, if there's a bar there, they will put it in there. They are afraid of the address bar. Now, one way you can do it is someone go start run and type in www.logmein123.com.
Yes.
Don't even have them go to the browser. Just start run. Yeah, I've heard it all.
Alrighty.
So Log Me In Rescue. Now for our service agreement customers who have signed up for our managed services,
the gold package, the Matt Rainey special,
the platinum. I need to come up with a name for it, other than the expensive plan. No. So this agent, part of this agent, it on the machine allows for remote access. So I just log into my central console, find their computer, hit connect, and I'm connected. They don't have to do anything. I can be connected in 5 seconds.
Okay.
They don't even tell me anything. If Mary calls in my list, I can see who's logged into what computer. So I just find Mary and say, okay, connect. Is that you? Yeah. Okay. Now we're connected and I can do what I want. That's very nice for those managed services clients. Now, another thing I've started to do, if you use Log Me In Rescue, if it takes them forever to connect once, I'll create a shortcut on their desktop when I connect. That's basically says remote help or whatever it is, I name it. Put it on their desktop, and I tell them, if you ever call us needing for help, you're going to have to click on this. And that takes them right to the site to put the code in.
Also, if you were listening to last week's show about group policy, you can put a group policy to put that shortcut in anybody's browser.
Yes. And you know what? I think I'm going to do that because God, it's funny when you're talking about it now how they can't type in logmein123.com, but it's not funny after 8 minutes on the phone when you're still not connected to somebody.
No, it's very frustrating.
The only silver lining is that I know I'm billing them for the whole time because if it's our billing is half-hour increments, so if it takes them 30 minutes to connect, I'm just going to charge them more.
And then as Matt just plays every recording, it's like a WAV file, of the URL, logmein123.com. Then they pause it for 10 seconds. Logmein123.com.
Then I can say, no, logmein123.com. Oh, logmein123. Or no, logmein.com. No, and just keep repeating it until they show up on the screen. It's funny.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next email's from Chris. Said, Matt, on one of the shows, you mentioned your company pays for its techs certification tests. I'd like to do that for my techs. Do they have to stay with the company for a period of time afterwards? My other partners think they'll bail after getting the test paid for. Now, my past experience, I have been at jobs where, they offer to pay for certifications, but it requires you sign some type of contract where if you leave the company within a certain amount of time, you have to pay them back for the books and the tests. Now, some companies, like the one that I work for now, they'll just pay for it with no strings attached.
Yeah, that's what we do as well. If they take the test and pass, when they pay for it, save the receipt. If they pass, give a certificate. It shows you pass. We pay for it. There's no strings attached, and that can be a common. It's a valid concern, definitely. But that can be true of the training you're providing them. Just day-to-day training is valuable as well. Even more valuable than the certifications is the experience that you get in the day-to-day training. So we actually even buy books. So if one of the techs comes and says, hey, I want to get certified on this, fine, I'll buy the book. I'll buy the book for them. When it comes in, here's your book. But of course, the book is company property. So after you're finished, put it back in the bookshelf. It's available for any other tech who might want that certification, and we can go from there. Now, I don't pay for any old certification that they want. It's got to be related to the work that we do. We don't do Cisco work. I may not have mentioned it before, but we use WatchGuard routers.
I've never heard you say that one time.
Okay, so it's a different brand of router, WatchGuard router. We'll talk about it one day. So I'm not going to pay for somebody to get a Cisco certification, a CCNA or whatever it's called, because it's not a service we provide. Now it's different if we were looking into getting into that market. I would pay,
right?
But we're not, because WatchGuard feels our need. WatchGuards are expensive enough. Cisco might have the name out there, but a lot of small businesses, once we've talked to them and showed them what it can do, they're fine with the WatchGuard. They don't need Cisco. And I've only had, over the past 10 years, one person ask, do y'all use Cisco? No, we don't use Cisco. I wouldn't pay for somebody to become a systems DBA because we don't do that. So right. It's got to be related to what we do, of course, and we'll pay for it. Anything that I find related, anything Microsoft, I'll pay. Anything Network Plus, anything CompTIA.
Sure. I will say in my environment today, yes, like Matt stated, we do have all type of books for the most current certifications. They do send us to classes. I also convinced them to buy a yearly subscription for CBT Nuggets. Our IT staff is about, guesstimating here, about 70 folks. So we bought a couple of seats, and they can go on the web and hit any Microsoft topic, any technology, Microsoft or Cisco. I mean, fill in the blank. Any. If there's a book for it, CBT Nuggets for the most part has a video series for it, and that's how some of our folks get trained. And I see Matt's response to this email, and one line that really stood out at me is, if you pay your employees what they're worth, especially good employees, they'll stick around. They'll stick around even after all this training. Now, are gonna bounce. But if you have good employees, as Matt said, good techs are very hard to find. That's why I cannot fathom why I still get paid with candy at work. I'm still waiting for a paycheck. So I must not be that good. So
I think you might need to make more demands there, Lalo. I'm going to ask my techs if they'll work for candy
there you go.
tomorrow. Yeah, and of course, we don't advertise to prospective employees that we're going to pay for certifications once they're hired, and after they've reached their 90-day evaluation, we're going to keep them on. We let them know, hey, this is something that we offer to you now. You can take advantage of it. You don't have to. It's there if you want it. Now, of course, like a lot of other good techs, you got to find a way to keep them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say no matter what it takes, because
right, some people are going to make some outrageous demands.
Right, because a tech is not worth. I can get detailed and say, let's look at a tech who bills. Let's say you can bill them out at, let's just use round numbers, $100 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
How many billable hours he get a day? Okay, let's say he's getting 3 billable hours a day, because you can't bill for, it just happens. You can't bill for everything. Let's say he's getting 3 billable hours a day, $300 a day. Multiply that times however many days he's working for the year. You can come up with how much income he's coming. A good rule of thumb is a third. If let's just say he's billing out $90,000 a year, a good rule of thumb is you're going to pay the employee a third. A third goes to the employee, a third goes to overhead, because there is overhead to have employees. A third goes to profit. So I can't pay a tech $65,000 if he's only billing $90,000 a year. It's not really making me any money. If I add the overhead, basically he's working there for himself, basically. So
that's a good point.
But there's other things you can do for employees. Make a nice work environment. Don't be a stickler. Just small things would make the employees happy.
Yes.
Just small gestures. It was Mardi Gras for us yesterday, so we're closed on the Tuesday. 2:00, 2:30. I told the guys, hey, take off. Have a good time. They were thrilled. Oh my goodness, we get to go? Really? Yeah, go. A little time, extra time off. If I'm out on the job with one of my techs, hey, buy them lunch. They're happy. Oh, it's nice. Hey, they want me lunch. Little things.
Yeah, so those small things are big. I mean, even a good job, or I like how you handle that situation. Because being in IT and dealing with computers, I mean, we all know that there are days where this just beats you down extremely. So when you have your boss buy you lunch, or let you have half a day, or whatever the case may be, it goes a long way. So if you treat your employees well, and again, going back to this training, as the email stated, there are a lot of people like me get really attracted toward jobs that say, hey, we'll send you training, we'll send you classes, we'll teach you where, the whole infrastructure. I get attracted to that, compared to if I go into a shop and no one is really a master of anything. They just wear many hats. That's a real unattractive environment to me. At times you can't help that environment, don't get me wrong, but when I'm applying for a job and they throw out the words, we'll pay for certifications and all type of training. Sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took advantage when I first started this company. I took advantage. I was taking a test a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I took advantage of it. Good techs, you might offer this, and your techs may not do it at all, because it is things that they have to do. They have to read the books. They got to take time. They got to take the exams. They got to pass them. So you may offer this, and they might not take you up at all. They might say, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the ones that are going to do it, obviously they're more motivated to learn, to better themselves. So they might be some of the better techs that you want. And it can be a good case for who gets a raise, who doesn't. Bob gets a raise. Look what he's done. He's maintained good billable hours. He's not late. He's not flying out the door at 5:00. Yeah, we don't require you to work past 5, but we don't let you leave a client hanging until the next day just because it's 5. He's earned his certifications. Where this guy, he does good work, but he just doesn't go above and beyond anything. He does what's needed.
Now, granted, there are those folks, unfortunately, take an opportunity, get certified, and say, I want, $15,000 more a year. And you say no, and they go, see ya. And it happens. I mean, you can't help that.
Yeah. Well, my response to that would be what makes you more valuable